What are even cars? They are not just the means of transport, it's the only tool and appliance that you have a connection to, that you can feel. And I dare say, for some people like me, life is pointless without them. Harnessing the interest of cars since the age of 3 or 4 years old by various means that I am grateful for, because they were all available to me, like a PC with NFS2 special edition on it, little diecast cars known as Hot Wheels, Lego built cars, this drawing book, and the thing I want to give the most credit to, the Need for Speed Most Wanted, which was provided to me by my brother's friend, no less. Just a game to some, but a lot to me. So naturally, my brother and even my own friends love cars too, because they were just so cool back then. And I think that is all the reason a child needs, just to be fascinated by it. Coolness, that's it. But I think a very few people actually keep this interest alive since they were children, after all the new trends sets in and other distractions to come in and go by, etc. And actually, I did had a fleeting distraction at some point or another, but now I am firmly sure that I always was and still am interested in cars. All I want to do is make them of what it's necessary for it to be one of the greatest. That is why I have always advocated for hypercars and supercars, or just those cars that are remotely interesting. In fact, I have outright said this to people that I do not care about family budget cars where all the innovation is going on how to make them cheaper with more profit margins and etc. and this technology. I don't care. I only care about the things that actually presents a deeper meaning, designing something different with a deeper purpose to it, and for which a visionary person is needed. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity if you want to build something great. And that is my cup of tea. Examples like Koenigsegg, Pagani, Rimac, GMA are some of my unsung heroes for what they do for the car world. And it goes all out to those two who make custom car builds, even Kurt Lautersmith for the Low-Tech series, and many more that they could design and make. As I would say it, they have the joy of creating some of the greatest cars in the world. And so, a year ago, I had this crazy idea in mind, and I just wanted to make it happen. I wanted to design and make a car, a lightweight mid-engine sports car that is extreme in every way possible. The looks, the speed, acceleration, etc. Because if a car wants to make a mark, it has to be extreme, because that is what creates polarity. And with polarity comes a strong feeling and emotion that either attracts you or detracts you from a particular set car. That's why some people just don't like supercars, because either it's very impractical or they are just too loud and uncomfortable. But just on the other side of the fence, there are people who just love their craziness, their looks, their impractical shortcomings, which actually make them more attractive because it looks more honest. And hence you would see a big gap in my videos of future cars should be electric and racers the most masculine sportsmen, because I was thinking of designing my first car in that period of time, just for the sake of envisioning and actually know how it could look like. So it took much of a mental space back then. But to ensure it would be worth it, I talked to my friend who had a workshop with all the tools and equipments that are needed to at least make a body shell of the car. And he was actually a car enthusiast too, like me, so he was obviously interested. And we thought we could make this as a college project so it can be taken seriously, and Fortunately, also, he was in my group too, so it worked out that way as well. But I heard from another group that their professors were very strict, and he presented a kind of strictness that the students, or my friends in this case, started to cuss the guy, you know, curse him to all hell. Of course, they cursed it in Hindi. And so I had to make sure that this project of R got approved, no matter how ridiculous it sounded. So I pulled in all my effort on why we should design a new car with better aerodynamics and make it lightweight too, to make it as fuel efficient as possible as well. Basically, I gave all the sports car credentials, but without directly saying it, because in India, sports cars are only seen as impractical vanity items for rich individuals, generally. So I had to slide this idea with a bit of subtlety. And here you will, my professor was so impressed that I got the green light for it. I think on the first day itself. They said I could design it, but not build it due to the feasibility issue. So I only had to make the 3D models on softwares and test it if it's aerodynamic and good enough to be useful. And I was happy and discussed it with my friend who had the workshop too. And we got into this one-on-one deep conversation of how great of an opportunity we have gotten and how this has and always have been my dream. And I'm not going to lie, it was a very emotional moment for me too. And so after all that, I had to come up with some ideas, if you want to say. I started brainstorming on how I want my car to look like, what is its purpose, and how can I engineer it, and got into a lot of details. The biggest thing was to make a car which is extremely beautiful and very cleverly engineered too. And for the design inspiration, I just had to think more and more about it until I saw this, my old little Hot Wheels car right here, the Chaparral 2D. It wasn't the most beautiful car, but its lines and the overall shape reminded me of other cars from the 1960s that stole the hearts of the car enthusiasts back then. The Ferrari Daytona, the Ford GT90, Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, and more. So I got to it. I started designing the idea and all the aerodynamic elements that should go in it, and came up with all this. This is a very initial design of mine, and it symbolizes how it could look like and all the active aero elements and how it would work. And a great moment too. And while I was designing all this, another guy, while walking, saw this, turned around, observed my design, and complimented me on my skills. And that felt great. And after the initial design, it took me 6 months to make it better and improve it, then converting that to AutoCAD, and then with the help of my friend's advice, to make the blueprints first and then convert those blueprints into 3D model by using Fusion 360 softwares, and then rendering it, got me the final model you see in the thumbnail of this video. Simply called it the Project R. And truth be told, I learned so much about cars and how you can design them than I did in my entire life in anything else in schools and colleges. I mean, I am technically a science student and I don't know a fucking thing about science. That's the thing. I've almost forgotten all of them. But when it comes to cars, man, am I happy with the progress that I have made. Very great. Truly great. But unfortunately, I cannot give many more pages worth of details I made for Project R, because my friend and I are going to continue on this project regardless of college or not, and for his company too. And some things need to be confidential for obvious reasons, but at least I can show you some initial drawings and renders of it. And with that, we come to the main part of the video. After all that, I can confidently say, if you are even remotely interested in designing and envisioning cars, or just give it a try, then I can help you. I can help a car enthusiast like you to envision, visualize, and design your own car, just like I did here. That's right, I made an entire new car known as the Dusra, just so I can teach you how to design this new supercar only exclusive to this course that I made. The best thing about the course, I myself designed the new car as you learn alongside with it, also with detailed actionable steps that I used in designing my first car. And I'll admit it, it's not the easiest thing to do, it may take a month or more, but that is why I will give you advice and guide you the entire way so that you don't make the mistakes which I did, and you can learn a valuable skill along the way with detailed step by step actions and guidance. So check that out in the link in the description below. And if you're one of the first 20 customers, you get an outright 50% discount, and you get to decide what more needs to be added onto the course and make it better for you and even for others who would like to design cars. And also good news for those people who don't necessarily want to design cars on CAD softwares but just want to draw cars and sketch cars, because I've also made a detailed guide on how you could do that too, with all my work and a trip down memory lane on how I started drawing cars and even trucks at some point. It is at 2D stage right now, but after some time, when I get better with 3D cars too, I will add that in too. So check these both out in the description and pin comment too. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching everyone.